Hi everyone, this is Barry from Knitting for Love, and today's video I'm going to take you through the process of making an Afterthought sock. Now, as you can tell, I have finished this long sock and it has this odd color, and the color is only halfway through, so that's where my heel is going to be. I used a contrasting color that I would definitely be able to see. I've closed off the toes, so the toes are closed, and this is where the heel is going to be. So let's get started. I've made a little swatch to show you that when you've done, your heel is going to look like a little heel when you're done. So that's just to show you what it is. Now, when you are knitting, you're going to put in an extra thread that's going to be able for you to see where you need to place the thread for your heel. So I've already started knitting in the round here on double pointed needles to show you. Now, me personally, I like to divide my needles up on my stitches up on three needles, because it's easier for me to figure out what my heel will always be and what's the top of the foot. So here I have 20 stitches. I have 10 down here, 5 and 5. So the 10 stitches is my heel, which is 50% of the stitch count, which gives you 50% of the stitch count. Will give you a nice little heel from the very beginning of your ankle in the front all the way to your heel. So in order to do that, and I find it's easier to do it with double pointed needles versus circular needles, is you just, when you get ready to put your heel in, you're going to take a contrasting color, and I'm just going to use white because it's definitely a contrasting color to the beige, and you can definitely see it. And I'm working with double pointed needles this time, and let's just knit across, and you're going to see how easy this is to do this method. That way, if you're knitting in a pattern of Fair Isle, you can definitely keep your pattern and put in your heel later after you finish the toes. Now, I've knitted all the way across where I believe my heel is going to be, and then what I'm going to do is you're going to need to cut this thread, because I'm just going to let it hang there. I'm not going to tie it off or anything, because it's just there as a temporary hold for your work. So now that you've got that temporary in there, you can come back to the beginning of that row and keep knitting around to continue on to the foot. All you gotta do is just knit right over, knit those new stitches, and it's going to give you a row where you can definitely see where you need to pick them up at when you're finished. Now I'm just going to finish this so you can see that you just continue to knit in the round from here. And of course, that last stitch is always going to be loose because it's not tied off. You can just pull the ends, and that's it. Now you have your Afterthought color put in there. So like I said, the sock that I'm working on is multicolored, but there is no yellow, and I did use the same weight yarn as I did. That way my stitches aren't stretched. So now, to pick up these stitches once you're completely done, I have well, let me show you how to do it on circular. So now that I've did it on I'm knitting in the round, and if you're knitting on the round in a circular pattern, I took an extra double pointed needle, and what I'm going to do, what I did was I took half my stitches and I knitted the white on, and now I can just pick up from here and knit in the round on my circular needle. Some people say you just need, all you need to do is put them back onto the needle, and if you don't have an extra one, you can just literally just, once you've knitted them all on the same needle, you can take this needle and slide them back through until you get to the point where you can continue knitting in the round, and that will give you a way to do that. I do like the double pointed method better, but if you don't have double pointed needles, you can definitely do this as knitting in the round. You know, and there you have that. So let me show you how to pick up your stitches. Now we're going to just pretend that this, and we zoom in just a little for you so you can see the stitches. Now you're going to pick up the row underneath and the row above your stitches. I'm going to put this like so. So this is my top, this is my bottom. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to pick these stitches up. Now what you want to do is you want to get all the way to the very end here, uncurl it. You see there is a V. You're going to pick up, see this left leg right here? This is the right one. You're going to pick up the left leg underneath right there. And now you're going to skip the next one and pick up that one. So you're just scooping them up and putting them on the needle. So you're going to skip that one, pick up that one, and you're going to do this all the way across the row until you've picked them all up. And then look at it carefully, because you can skip some, like I'm going to just do this on purpose and so you can see how it looks, is that you can tell if you've missed count. You see right here, there's a gap and there's a little V. So there's a big gap here. So obviously I missed picking up the leg underneath. So what if that happens? You can just slide back and redo it, making sure you're picking up all of those legs that are on the left side of your work. So now that I got them all on one side, now I'm getting ready to pick them up on the other side. And what I do is I turn it over, and now I want to pick them all up again. So that's my, this is my first. So I'm going to pick up this one right here is my left, and I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to pick up all of them. And in this case, I'm going to pick up half, because I personally like knitting with 3 double pointed needles. So I'm just going to prepare this before I do, so that way I don't have to slip anything over. And I'm just going to pick up the remainder of the stitches there. So we're all picked up. And now if you want to keep on knitting, you know that this is your beginning of your row right here, is your long one, and your 2 short ones is your other side. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take a color like my purple here, and I'm going to start knitting. And I would suggest you start with this side. You knit like a row, 1 row. And yes, these things are going to be super tight at first. So once you get through this, it won't be a problem. We're going to knit all the way around at least once. That way. And that thread is just, it's just what's making it tight. Your first row stitches will even out as you go, and then once you've removed the extra holding stitches that was holding it, which I'm going to do in a moment to show you that it's very easy. And as long as you pick them all up, you're not going to drop any stitches in your sock later on. So I've knitted all the first one. And now I'm going to knit the second one. And now the last one. And what you're going to do is once you start decreasing, you will do the same decreasing you would do for the toes. You would knit one round, decrease one round, knit around, decrease one round. And I'll show you which ones and where to decrease. That way you'll know where to decrease. And this helps also with the forming of the heel itself, so there's no more turning of the heel, and for those who hate that turning, wrap and turn method of the heel. So now that I've got that all taken care of, me personally, I see this tail right here. I'm going to tie a loose knot right here just to bring them two together. There. And basically you have all your stitches on your needles. Now when you're knitting and you're reducing, I like to knit one stitch, knit two together, knit two together, knit one stitch. And then on these I'm going to knit one here, knit two together, knit all the way across, knit all the way across, knit two, knit one. And I'm going to knit a row, and then I'm going to repeat that. I'm never going to decrease over here. I'm only decreasing on the ends. So now let's remove, show you how easy this is to remove this. Is I'm just going to cut this white string short so it's easy to pull through. And I'm just going to take my needle and I'm just going to pull it. See if I can find the short end of it. And here it is. So basically you can just pull it out with your with your extra knitting needle. You should just pull it right out. And you're left with a hole. And it's that simple. And as long as you didn't split any stitches, this will work. This will come right out. And if you split some stitches, you're going to have to cut it out of there, leaving the stitch, your main yarn, visible. And the last one's always tricky, because there it is. And see, I just split that, so that's not going to come out very well. There it's out. So now you're left knitting in the round. And you keep decreasing until your heel looks like this. Hope this was informative. Please like, share, subscribe, leave comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you tried this and did you like it. Which method you like more, circular or double pointed. talk to you later, guys. Happy knitting. Bye now.